You got to have the owner's mindset. If you were the owner of the company and you had an employee like you doing this role, would you be happy with what you're getting? Each time I'd go and meet a client, I'd love to learn about saying, आपके 20 साल में आपने क्या किया? आपकी कंपनी कैसे चलती है? आपका competition कैसा चलता है?
What are some leadership qualities that you, one, like to have in a, say, leader who's working within your team, or as people who growing up or aspiring to become leaders, what are that qualities as a leader that set them apart?
So it's a loaded question, and some of what I said could kind of fall in here as well. But if I were to go back and say, today, if as a leader you can go hire people who are smarter than you, you can go hire people who've had the courage to fail. You can go hire people who don't think twice before saying, boss, you were wrong. It doesn't resonate. I mean, if the guy doesn't have the courage and says, boss, aap itne अच्छे हो और आप बढ़िया काम करते हो, you're not adding value to the team.
Right.
But it doesn't happen just because you've interviewed a smart guy. You have to build a culture where speaking up is okay.
Yep.
You have to build a culture where you go back and say, we've got to learn the art of respectfully disagreeing when it means you and I don't disagree. You and I don't agree. You've got to have, like what I say, the owner's mindset. There's a difference between being an employee of a company and being an owner of a company.
Yeah.
When you come to me for a decision, boss, यहाँ पे पैसा लगा दें, I'd ask a question saying, forget about you're a manager in this firm. If you were the owner of this company, the single man who ran this company, would you do this? The answer is very simple. If you were the owner of the company and you had an employee like you doing this role, would you be happy with what you're getting or what you're delivering? Or would you do something different?
Right.
The answers are very, very different. We've got to get that owner's mindset instilled in our people by creating a culture where we hire smart people and let them thrive with their smartness by being able to express and speak their minds, and giving them the freedom to fail by giving them the, protecting them, from the shocks that failures can bring to the table.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you're bound to be a high performing team. Your teams will do well. There'll be enough emotional quotient. They will grow. You will grow. The company will grow. That's just the piece that's very, very important.
So for the person who wants to be that guy, I think the learning that can be taken away is being in the shoes of the CEO or the CXO. And does that decision do well if you were in his shoes, if you were to do that? Or maybe thinking like that, thinking of yourself as the CXO and taking then all, reevaluating it and taking all factors in place.
I'm saying don't even think of a CXO. Just call yourself as the promoter of the company. Even CEO is a hired guy.
Yeah.
I am the malik of the company. मेरे पिताजी की company है और मैं चला रहा हूँ. तो क्या करोगे? Trust me, the decisions will get very will get even more optimal, and your connect with the brand, your connect with your job, the purpose behind the job will be a lot better. I mean, people need to find a purpose. You don't come to work because you get a salary at the end of the month.
Yeah.
That can't be the purpose. If that's the purpose, trust me, that relationship's not going to last very long. So you have to find, and companies do a lot to be able to instill that purpose and feel back in the employees. Employees have to do enough to be able to connect to that purpose and find that hyper-tailored connect, saying this purpose is what we want to work towards.
That's a big, heavy point there. Maybe people take a second, breathe in to take in that, and you meet. There's a PwC CEO's report.
Like every brand stands for something, right? I'm going to ask a question back to your audience. If you're growing up in your career and building your brand, what do you stand for? I'm not saying your degree, I'm not saying your college, I'm not saying your passion. What is it that you stand for? What is your purpose? Keep thinking about it. And when you start thinking about it, you will start connecting the dots back with the companies and the cultures and the environments that you work for. And if you can't connect the dots, you'll find the next job that will allow you to connect that dot. That is a long-standing relationship. It's very purpose-led. That's very, very important. Articulate that. And it's okay if that articulation changes 6 months later because you're maturing. But it's very important to kind of ask you that question.
And then probably that establishes a deeper sense of work towards it, because you're not working for something small.
Yeah.
Then the intensity increases all the more, and then you're automatically motivated to maybe work even a step further to that.